I'm recording the day after Christmas, and I'm certainly hoping that most of you had a decent holiday, though I know a lot of people who worked over Christmas and celebrated the day before. And those who didn't work were so exhausted, they were kind of happy just to be home. When you think about who's being rewarded in this country and who's making money, it's not the middle classes and it's not the lower classes. Those of us in the middle who work, they're working 12-hour days. And if they're lucky, they're getting paid what they're worth. But in most instances, they're not. It wasn't the immigrants stealing our jobs. It's the tech billionaires and the other billionaires. They have no regulation. They don't want the regulation. And Trump is just as happy to keep them happy. And all of our policies are based upon maintaining billionaire unaccountability. They don't make new products for us in manufacturing. You go to the shops, you're going to see the same old products that you saw 15 years ago, only now they're more expensive. What is manufacturing doing? They're just tweaking their products. What's pharmaceuticals doing? They're just tweaking the products and keeping the old formulas alive and not letting in new competition. I say it's enough. I don't like to hear 65% of the population, me included, wondering how we're going to survive with the continuing inflation, with the tariffs on products that we used to get and used to be cheaper. Not anymore. It's Trump policies that are making us see unaffordability. Trump policies have taken away our ability to own a home because you only have 3 or 4 home builders who control the marketplace. Everywhere you go, you've got a monopoly on housing, so that we don't get affordable housing. No, these people just want to make profit, and everything is a profit center. Well, they're killing off the consumers in this country. They call it a K-shaped economy. That means our economy goes one way and the other way, up and down. The folks at the top, when you look at the average income in Greenwich, Connecticut, it's $647,000. In a neighboring town with middle and lower classes, the top level is maybe $70,000. Sure, the folks in Greenwich can afford to purchase whatever they need for the holidays. But the rest of us? No. A bag of groceries costs too darn much. And because of the billionaires and their tech centers and their AI revolution that's not ready for prime time, electricity is costing the average person much more, probably about 25%. But why should we bear the cost of new infrastructure? The tech bros should be bearing that cost, not us. And why should we be going to 4-day weeks for education in the West and the South? There's nothing more important than a public education, a quality education. I went 5 days a week. I did my homework. We had clubs. We interacted with other schools. We learned to debate. We ran newspapers, magazines. We had sports. We had a band. We had an orchestra. We had vocalists. We did theater. That's what should be happening today, to keep people engaged, to keep our young people thinking and educated. In the EU, they're coming up with games for people to play so that they can interact with the history and understand how variables that are put into practice change the outcome of history. I saw a globe that some people in my building have bought for their young kids. The globe is fascinating. If you point to another country on the globe, the kids can actually see what language is spoken there, the culture of that country, and the products that are produced. Those are worthwhile games and toys. We should be thinking about how to progress, how to make the American dream more affordable. It always was. Every generation wanted to pass on a better standard of living for their children and their grandchildren. And Trump's policies of rewarding only the very wealthy is not working for the rest of us. We can't afford homes for our children and grandchildren. We can't afford the vacations that we took for our kids and our grandchildren. Why should anyone have to work 12 or more hours a day and not be paid and have to sue for lost wages? We need accountability in corporations, and we certainly don't need those tax cuts to the corporations to pass and put us into even more debt. Debt that the billionaires won't have problems paying, but us in the middle and lower classes, we will, even if we don't spend a lot. Our credit cards are more expensive. The interest on them are more expensive. The student loans that Trump doesn't want to forgive and wants to go after kids who have student loans and are not paying them off because they're not making a living. That student loan program was making a profit for the federal government to the tune of $51 billion a year. Isn't it enough to just go after the American people? It's time the billionaire class and the ultra-wealthy paid their fair share. That's what's keeping our jobs low, because there are monopolies everywhere. And in late-stage capitalism, only the upper classes are making the money and the profits. And the rest of us really can't borrow at their rates, nor can we afford necessities. For us, the tariffs are costing us $2,000 a year. For the billionaire class and the uber wealthy, not so much. They're actually making $12,000 a year. I say no to the tax cuts for the wealthy, and yes for a new equitable society. I want to see that old bell curve again. I don't want to see authoritarianism, and I don't want to see just helping the wealthy survive. There are 360 million of us, and not so many in the uber wealthy class. They don't deserve to tell us how we should run our lives. So, in the new year, there's going to be resistance. You can bet on it. And I'm looking forward to being one of the leaders and giving out as much information as possible, because I don't want Trump's regime to survive past 2026. Truthfully, I've had enough just already.